walks in, now here comes the drama. Had a couple of them, to be honest, like William, Scott, they would always take me shopping. Ralphie and Mark, they would take me to the doctor. I call them all daddy, even though they didn't have me. Kids used to make fun of my clothes, so one of them got punched in the nose. Kinda like I was forced to be tough. Life as a shorty shouldn't be so rough.
Yeah, it's the Archivest, y'all.
What you know about that?
Exclusively interviewing Fashawn.
It's me.
And who is Fashawn?
Fashawn is a ball of energy.
And when you first began, tell us about your creativity in order to be free from the hardships growing up and where you're at today.
Oh man, well growing up, I never felt confined to anything. Because growing up, I didn't have, well fortunately and unfortunately, I didn't have the kind of parents that sheltered me from a lot of things and told me right from wrong, or so I don't really know too much about being confined in one thing. So the beauty of that was exploring everything and getting the freedom to explore everything, whether that be art, whether that be religion or whatever, man, just expression. So yeah, that's what really, that was the origins of everything I do now. You know what I'm saying? Was just having that freedom to choose. You know?
And working with Hectic Soprano
My
on
guy.
the first mixtape, Grizzly City, and repping Fresno, California. Share about this and the Grizzly Gang, and working with Planet Asia.
Well, I met Hectic when I was about, I always knew about Hectic because he was a DJ in my hometown, and he was on the radio, and he spin on my favorite show, which was 90.7 KFSR back in the day. He spin on the weekends, and I always knew who he was. He'd bring all the hip-hop guys to town. He'd bring like Nas to town. He'd bring Little Brother to town. And I'd always see this guy. So right then I knew I wanted to get involved with him. But it wasn't until I turned about 14, 15 years old, this guy by the name of Tone came and snatched me up. I was chilling with my family, and he came and got me. He had set up a meeting to meet Hectic. And I was bullshitting. I didn't even go. I was in the hood just chilling, smoking. I didn't even pay it no mind. Even though I knew who this guy was, I was so young, I wasn't responsible at that time. So he came and got me, took me to the studio with Hectic, and first song we did was Set Up Shop, which was on Grizzly City 1. It's been history ever since, man. Been rocking with me since like 05, 06. And yeah, we here, man. Let me mention, as far as the Grizzly Gang and things of that nature, man, Grizzly Gang started in that hood that they picked me up from when I didn't meet with Hectic. I was there formulating that at the time. We wear purple to represent royalty, you know what I'm saying? We carried ourselves like kings and queens. That's why we wore the color purple. Also, the baseball team, Fresno Grizzlies, used to be purple back in the day. But they switched it to orange, but we wanted to rep the real Fresno, the old Fresno that we knew, which we called Grizzly City. And so that developed Grizzly Gang, and that whole thought process behind that's what developed Grizzly Gang. Yeah, we just a pack of Grizzlies, man. The cops call us the Grizzly City Boys, so we kind of embrace that name even more, Grizzly City Boys. Yeah, that's my movement, you know what I'm saying? I'm the general of that movement, straight up.
And one of the best books you've read to feed your inspiration in order to be on the level you're at.
Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. It's a story about this kid named Santiago who had a dream, and he took the dream to some dream interpreter, and she told him to follow his dream. He'll find his treasure when he gets to Egypt or wherever he was trying to go. That's what inspired Boy Meets World. Well, my name's Santiago as well. That's my real name, Santiago. So as soon as I turned on the first page, I was like, yo, it's talking directly to me. That sparked something else in me, man. I started being more personal with my lyrics, and that's what became Boy Meets World after reading that book, you know what I'm saying? And that's the album that changed my life forever, you know?
And on to the Antidote mixtape produced by The Alchemist. How did this go before your official album dropped?
That was even weirder. As I was reading the book, I was working with The Alchemist, and I just felt like I was in the right place, you know what I'm saying? I just felt like Santiago was in the right place at the right time. And I was building with Alchemist, and Evidence introduced me to him. It started with The Far Left. It's on The Far Left. I was working on Boy Meets World, and I did a song with Ev called Our Way. Probably around the same time I came to the studio, and he played me something with Alchemist. He was like, yo, you want to get on the song? And I was like, of course. You know what I'm saying? Of course I do that. was crazy, you know. That was the far left, and I went in there and just blazed it. And from there, I had Alchemist's ear, and called me back. We did Far Left 2, and et cetera, et cetera. And it's been history ever since, man. We did half of the Antidote in New York. My first time in New York, I flew out to New York, and I got to stay at Alchemist's crib. You know, we stayed there, and I just recorded half the records there, like Fast Place and Cool, Lost in New York, I did there. Man, what else, man? I think What's Your World, I did it out there, and then came back to Cali and finished it, you know, at Ev's crib, at Alk's crib in Cali. And that was the Antidote, man. It was me rapping over everything that was beyond my generation, you can say, because I'm the little homie. Everybody tell you I'm the little homie, so every time they play me some music, it's like, what is that? They might play me some old Pharoah Monch shit I never heard. I'm like, wow, you know, and they feel like it's their responsibility to school me on shit. And he was hipping me to all these samples that he was playing. He wanted me to rap over the samples just to see how a kid in 2009 thought how these kind of beats affected a kid like myself. That's what happened, man. I just wrote to however I felt, because you got to think, I never heard these songs ever. Half of these samples, I just spoke what I felt, and that's why I feel so organic, because it's just raw shit, man. It's the Antidote. We was sick of a lot of shit that was out, and we wanted to you know, make the alternative to that, and that's what I think we really accomplished.
And then, as well as One Shot, One Kill, and Higher Learning mixtapes, and your thoughts of many more from these with the exposure on Smash and Nah Right Now.
Those tapes were, they just remind me of a good time in my life, man. I can't compare the two, because I really recorded them in a short amount of time, and I was just in a zone that was just incredible for each one. One Shot, One Kill, I did that with Mick Boogie and Terry Urban and Arisu Clothing. I was sponsored by Arisu Clothing. I was dealing with Mick Boogie now, and it was different from Grizzly City 1. It was just a different transition at that point. I was already reaching the blogs and trying to just staying in traffic, as they call it. I was just out there just every day, like you see a new Fashawn record or every week or something. I was just heavily on my grind, man, and that was some of the best times of my life. And Higher Learning was right after that, right after One Shot, One Kill. And man, that's when I started making the album. That's why like songs like Freedom is on Higher Learning 1, produced by Exile. That's Fake ID, which was produced by Exile, which didn't make the album. That's why songs like that are on there. That was a whole nother vibe too. That's when I just started messing with Dilated. Started meeting Alchemist. Far Left was on there. And that's when, this was before the XXL stuff, I was just really bugged out, just that I was getting the respect from all these people, man. And yeah, man, I decided to do Higher Learning too, man, because I feel like right now it's kind of mirroring that. It's kind of mirroring that time of my life, but it's a whole nother vibe. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole different vibe. This time I'm ending the night off. You know what I'm saying? And I got my big homies with me, but it's still the same structure though, the same family. You know what I mean? So it's all good. You know.
And touring with Wu-Tang's Ghostface Killah on the Wizard of Poetry tour, Mr. Fab, The Grouch, Brother Ali, Blue in Exile, and Now Evidence share about these experiences.
Oh man, well, touring with Ghostface Killah was very enlightening, man. I got to see how a Don maneuvers, man, like a dude that's, you know, really been on top of his game for so long, really just work. I got to stand right next to him and sell my merchandise, and you have to think what that's like for a 21-year-old right now. It's like standing next to Tony Starks, man, trying to sell merch, standing next to a Don, you know what I'm saying, a legend. I stood there and I held my ground, and he respected me, man, and I learned from then on. If you stand out with your chest out, man, niggas gonna respect you, man, like no matter what. No matter big or small, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, man, that was a crazy experience. That tour was crazy. I think we had a smaller van than we did now. I'll just say that. We had a very smaller van than I did then. Now we're good. I can stand up in my shit and I can do, you know, it's cool. But that was the humble times of my life, touring with Ghostface. That's when the album just came out. I was on tour with him the day it came out. Got to buy my first album out of Rasputins or, you know, I was an amazing time. Song with Blue and Exile, we toured a lot of Europe and off Boy Meets World and Below the Heavens. It was just a beautiful combination because Exile was the backbone behind both of those albums. I feel like it was so special to have us all there. I mean, like, I hope that can happen again, you know what I'm saying? We toured Europe, shut it down, man, that was fun. I got to see a lot of places I've never seen, like Paris, and I remember this crew called, like the ARM crew, they did a mural for me for my cover of Boy Meets World. They painted on the wall in Paris. Kids were calling me Santiago on the street, like, it was like so connected to the album, it was like, it was so engulfed in it that they refused to call me Fashawn. They were like, that's Santiago, the Samsonite man, and those were beautiful times. And Grouch That Stole Christmas was a great tour. Wow, man. That's when we was just winding down that year, 2009. That was, December. That was like Christmas time. That was just a heavy year, man. It was me, Exile, Mr. Fab, Tito Bell, DJ Fresh, the Grouch, his brother Corey. It was just dope times, man. That was the first time, one of the first times I went out on my own. I just hopped in the van and just went, man. You know, just took on the world. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Ever since then, man. Now I'm touring with my big brother Evidence, man. I got him riding with me, man. It's dope, man. We've been everywhere from Colorado to Cali, man, and now we in Canada. Triple C's, man. Colorado, Cali, and Canada, man. And yeah, it's just been dope, man. The Higher Learning Tour has been great. And can't complain, man. I couldn't ask for better company. Shout out to Curtains, my man. Bravo, Alejandro, Delgado, Diablo. Going graphic, straight up.
And now on to recently featured on the cover of Double XL Mag, Freshman with 10 MC rapper lineup. How has this been to date for you now?
Oh man, that's just, I think that's helped, you know, that's helped my presence in the room more. Like if I walk in the room, that might be the first thing somebody whispers, like it's the kid from the freshman thing. That might be the first thing they whisper. Now, I think it's pretty cool. Chicks dig it. Other than that, I've been getting a lot of respect from these fellow MCs who see my face in the magazine or see my name, who really are familiar with the body of work that comes behind that. They see me and like, yo, okay, and acknowledge me because what I'm doing in that field of things. It's been good, man. I got the cover. Like, I think I'm the only guy from my town to do that. You know what I'm saying? I feel proud of that, and I think it's big for me in my career. You know, that's just something. It's a staple of my career that I can say like that I did. For the new freshman, you know, niggas is out here working. Niggas is grinding, man. You got a lot to deal with. You know, I'm still around. You know what I'm saying? You got to deal with me and all the cats that I was working with last year. That 10. You know, I'm just happy to say that I did that. Yeah. It's gonna be. Was one of the best years of my life. That was last year, 2010. Happy survived it, man. Because you know what I'm saying. There's a lot of people that on that cover that's not in Canada right now, not on tour. You know what I'm saying? It's, you know, so yeah, hold it down.
And back to Boy Meets World, featuring Aloe Black, Evidence, Mr. Fab, produced by Exile, dropping your first record. How has this been?
It's been amazing, especially working with Aloe Black now. Like, the way he just took off after I was working with him, like I didn't know he was so incredibly talented, man. Like I knew him as an MC, like Eminem. He was rapping, he sang a little bit, but yo, oh man, working with Aloe Black was a blessing. Glad I got him on 2 songs on that album. Meeting Ev, that's the album that introduced me to Ev and the whole Dilated Family Tree. Planet Asia came through, straight up. That was one of the best songs I've ever done in my life. The score, love that song forever. It changed my life, man. That album represents for me personally just the transition of my life, man. Me saying I'm not gonna do this, and I'm going to do this for sure until I die. You know what I'm saying? So that album was me finally. Hence the phrase "Boy Meets World." I felt like I was ready to, you know, give something to the world. That's why I put out 9, 8, 7 something mixtapes before that for free. I was just experimenting with my audience, you know what I'm saying? And by that time, I felt like I was ready to meet the world. And I knew who I was as a person. And yeah, it's a good thing.
And drop an Ode Till Illmatic, Share About This, hosted by DJ Green Lantern.
Man, it was special, one, because DJ Green Lantern was and probably still is Nas' DJ at the time. which was really made it like it's a kick in a lot of people's faces, like, you know, which was cool. But just the fact that he was down with it, because I brought the project to him, like, and the idea to him. At first, niggas wasn't too excited about it, you know what I'm saying? But for some reason, I completed the whole thing. This was in the middle of that and the Antidote. I remember I was recording both at the same time. I remember Green Lantern coming to Alchemist's crib. They was like, not yet, man. I think I had done like maybe like The World Is Yours and like It Ain't Hard to Tell or something. And I played them for him. He was like, not yet, kid. You know what I'm saying? And that explains why I came out earlier in 2010. It would have came out, it almost came out before, it almost got the same date as the Antidote did. It almost was, you almost would have got Illmatic in 2009. But I knew I wasn't ready. Big homie said you wasn't ready. But 2010 came around and I brought the rest of the material to him. And he was amazed by it, and he played it for other people, and everybody gave it the sign of approval, man. And I dropped it, and I thought that was gonna be like career suicide. A lot of people would feel it's blasphemous to touch beats so sacred or whatever. But honestly, man, I don't give a fuck anymore. And I just like doing what I do, man. And niggas can't tell me shit, man. It's a new era, and I feel like if you're not being dangerous with your ideas, if you're not being risky with your ideas, that it's not even worthy enough to be called an idea. You know what I'm saying? So.
And collabing with Rock Nation's J. Cole, as well as Omen and Defari. Pretty sick and large moves.
Thank you, man. Well, I met J. Cole. I met him after I got off stage with the Roots, man. I was in New York, was rocking with the Roots, and we went to the studio, and this was when I think the warm-up had just came out. And I was like, yo, dude's dope. And he said something about California on Twitter, and I hit him back like, yo, like, word up. Shout out to, you know, West Coast, we out here, you know what I'm saying? And he hit me back, and gave me his number, and by the time I got to New York, he was like, yo, I touched down. Like, hit me up. I'm like, I hit him up, went to the studio, and best believe, man, we got straight to work, you know. Met him for the first time. Cool cat, you know. Super talented, showed me some videos that I ain't seen yet that's coming out, that's incredible. Played me a lot of his music and vice versa. Yeah, and we did Relaxation that night. It was dope. It was in the middle of New York, you know what I'm saying? It's cool because neither one of us was from New York, so it was a special moment. Like, yo, how two cats from who knows where wound up here in New York, the birthplace of hip hop. There must be something special about the two, you know what I'm saying? So just that vibe alone was dope. We came out with Relaxation, and Omen was there. I got to meet Omen for the first time. Got introduced to his music. It was hella dope. Yeah, and Defari, I met him up in the studio, the old Dilated studio, and that's the big homie, man. Shout out, man. Aces High is one of my favorite records, man. Produced by Alk. Stupid. Pleasure to be on songs with those guys, man. Him, Ev, Raka, Farah, man. Yeah, just the fact, you know, I got the, you know, the salute on what I do from these guys is dope. It makes me want to work harder, you know what I'm saying?
And your best hip-hop memory you've been part of or contributed to?
Oh, man. Dang. There's a lot of them. Let me see. I have to say getting Rod Digger's phone number on stage at Splash Festival while Wu-Tang was performing. And I got Rod Digger's phone number. It was cool.
And the biggest crowd you've ever rocked?
Hip Hop Camp, 2010. It was like 10 at night. They gave me a really good slot, like before Kweli. And man, I couldn't even count how many people was there. It was just a sea of people, and I've never experienced anything like that ever on this earth. Large Professor called it Hip Hop Heaven, and it was dope. Oh, and that at Hip Hop Camp, I got so many moments, man. It's hard. Like for me, like personally, I remember being on the elevator with Master Ace up in Czech Republic, and I'm telling him like, yo, you're Master Ace, and him telling me like, yo, you're Fashawn. I'm like, yo, that's Master Ace. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy. He's like, I remember you from Brooklyn Hip Hop Festival and whoop-de-whoop, and I'm like, yo, it's just that alone, like so many moments, man. Being on stage with like Bad Boo on the turntables, man, and rocking with Dilated and like niggas from like Little Brother and all at once. We had a cypher at was that the Key Club, Ev? Remember that cypher? It was me, you, Montage. I think Pooh was there.
Oh, everybody on the dialect?
Yeah, it was deep as hell on stage.
Oh man, that shit's crazy.
That was one of the.
You and I.
Bad Boos on the tables. That was one of the illest ciphers I've ever been a part of. I got to go on right before Dilated. That was an honor. Yeah, man, so many moments, man. I'm a child of hip hop, man. I'm like, I love it, man. So, you know, little things that I appreciate that, you know, the average nigga might not. You know what I'm saying? Straight up.
And you've only been 1 to 2 years in the game. Share about your accomplishments, success.
I don't know. I guess one of my biggest accomplishments was getting to drop an album, getting to be on the shelves next to Jay-Z and like old Tupac records, and the same like you go get one of their albums or get a Fashawn album. Like I think that's at 21 years old and not being on a major label. I think that's an accomplishment in itself. And not making an album and having an album that's not, yo, I got a club record, I got a girl record, I got a street record. When it's just getting to put out real sincere music and put out good music, man. That's, I feel like, it's my biggest accomplishment. But other than that, getting to cover Double XL is cool. Getting to tour consistently and having real fans that know my music and that are hungry to dig for older music, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, it's just, and being here right now in Canada, man, that's an accomplishment in itself, man. I could be doing a lot worse.
And you got anything else to say to Canada?
Oh man, Canada, I love y'all, man. Shout out to like Feist and like Chaos and so many people, man. Shout out to Edmonton, Winnipeg. Shout out to Nose to Self. Shout out to everybody in Canada and everything that is Canadian. I don't eat bacon, but if I ever did eat bacon, it'd be Canadian.
And you got any shouts?
Shout out to God for bringing us all here. Thank you, God. Appreciate you. Other than that, man, shout out to the Archivest, man. Straight up, for holding me down and holding y'all down, you know. So, yeah.
And this is the Archivest, and you already know the name, y'all.
Archivest, punk. Deal with it. Or get dealt with.